Shit, I came from an alcoholic freaking family, man. My mom never kicked it. My brother is fucking homeless in Salt Lake City because he won't give it up. It's crazy.
It is.
Uh,
Yeah. You can't control it. You got some problems.
Yeah, you
it
want to get
is,
out
man.
of that if it is a habit, especially if it becomes a habit. I had an addicting personality to certain things in my life that I had to cut off, man, because you got to know what to prioritize in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Focus and really get your shit together, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, hey, boom, we're live. All right, we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live everywhere. Hey, this is the Dominate Your Trade, Kiki Competitions podcast. So got some guests in house. I guess Florida is representing. Florida's in here, man. Hey, we're gonna go over a whole bunch of different things. A little bit of the SEO. I'm gonna pick on one of my painters down in Alabama, but it's a free for all. It's supposed to be Jack and Coke and conversation. So you guys join in, ask some questions, and we're gonna have fun with it. All right, we're back live. Hey, we got Ryan in Florida. We got James in Florida. Hey, are you guys close to each other?
Yeah.
5 minutes away.
And then so I've known Ryan knowing him. I've only met him like right now, like over the internet, but I don't know, 6 months maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello,
we've been talking probably about a year.
About a year, huh?
Really been doing some progress for about 6 months.
Yeah. And then and James called me up today. James is a contractor building high-end furniture, accent walls, fireplaces, and I guess Ryan said, "Hey, call this dude up." So we talked a little bit, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm trying to get all my shit together for this podcast. Either join me or I'll call you later." And he said, "Man, I'll join you."
Yeah, he's good.
So. What's up, Big Jason? Jason is somebody too. Hey, so Ryan, when I first met Ryan, and I was going to do a video about this, just walking around on Facebook Live, was going to be was going to be just because Ryan's website is what we call in the marketing world. It was called Rank and Rent. So with SEO guys, marketing guys, they'll do a lot of the work to where they kind of rank your website to get you at the bottom of the first page. They'll spend their own money running ads to get leads coming in. They'll do some stuff to try to get your Google business showing up, but they own it and they control all of it. And some of these guys are spending anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 a month. But you end up being like a slave to them because at any time they can turn it off and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's a dangerous place to be. Whatever brings you in money and makes it, I mean, if you're spending $100 with some dude and you're bringing in 300 or 400, that's a pretty good return. You're spending $100, you're bringing in $1,000, that's a great return. But you never at any time, no matter how much the profit is, you could be spending $100 and bringing in 10 return, and you're like, oh man, this is golden. But if they control everything, man, if he dies on his motorcycle, the company goes under, whatever it is, everything gets turned off. And I know because I went through it. I'm speaking from experience to where you're like, oh shit. Yeah, I've got freaking 14 guys that work for us, and we're trying to keep 4 crews busy, and everything stops. And you're like, what the fuck? And so you never want to have all those eggs in one basket. You want to be able to control all of it. And it takes time to get there, and you're spending all this money. It's just not where I think anyone should be. So that's kind of kicking off tonight because it is all about, kicking your competition's ass. I'm going to talk about, I think everybody should write their own book. I did want to kind of pick on my boy down in Alabama. I'm not going to use his name, but he sent me a Facebook Messenger today talking about, man, you ain't going to believe this shit. And when he starts off with that, I never know where it's going. Sometimes it's a relative has just died or who knows. I said, tell me more. But, man, he's all excited because he just signed up he just signed a $33,000 contract with a contractor, and he wants to do another portion of the home or whatever he's building, another 73. So like $100,000 that he just signed with this dude. And yeah, man, and you've kind of seen the guy, Ryan, but he just got his freaking warehouse, so he's doing his cabinet refinishing and stuff. He's got about, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys working for him. It's been a crazy 2 years for him. So I'm excited to see everything going on. Hey Ryan, what are you doing right now? You're staying busy.
Oh yeah, we're booked out about 6 months. I'm turning down. I called James today, as a matter of fact, saying, "Hey man, you want to do some work for me? Because I got too much going on."
Yeah,
but it's a lot.
And that's a good. And because of what?
It's a lot because of you. What you've done. I mean, we're getting calls. I looked at my. I got the Google review today. I got 803 people viewed our website in the last week.
Yeah,
7 days.
And before you were spending all that money, and you weren't even showing up in Google Business and Google Maps.
Fuck, man, I was number 14, and I'm paying.
Yeah,
I was paying $2,500, $3,000 a month. Sometimes more.
Guys, it's like, yeah, and that's the main focus is because in all reality, that's pretty much the only place you can show up on the front page for free. And it's like a lot of work, so it ain't really free, but it's the main place to freaking be because no matter what people search, dog groomer, freaking painter, roofer, dance studio, it doesn't matter. They go to Google, they search for it. The first 2, 3, 4 things are always going to be ads, and then it's Google Maps. A lot of people go right past the ads straight to Google Maps. So you've got to be in that freaking top 3. I don't even number 4 don't do it for me because they got to, unless they click it and open it up, and a lot of people do, but you really need to be in that top 3 if you can. And you guys are just going to, I mean, by within the next 6 months, you'll dominate and be number 1 because you're lucky because you got Crystal doing a lot of the freaking work for you.
Huge help. I mean, I couldn't do it by myself.
No, and I tell people, man, and we're going to talk about that. Let me go off on a couple of different tantrums. Is because I'll have guys, even like James right now, is like I'll have dudes, just working by themselves, doing all. And I'll say, dude, I said, honestly, before you even hire a part-time helper, you really need to hire an office manager, a lady. And call me male chauvinist pig, but I like when ladies answer the phone, especially if they're Southern, they got like a little accent, and they just they just need to be nice. And you can train them and all that stuff. And it doesn't have to be in-house. There's enough of these VAs now, virtual assistants. You can even hire someone just to answer the phone, and you can go over all the questions that you need them to ask. Because my big thing is answer the phone, build that relationship, build that connection, talk about the kids, talk about the grandkids, whatever it is, and ask all those questions. He's like, oh my goodness. And after they've done it for a while, they will know the answers. So they don't have to get with you. But in the beginning, they can say, hey, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to get in touch with Ryan. We're going to go over all these questions, and I'm going to get right back to you. But what ends up happening, like the videos and stuff that I ask you guys to do is, when they're on the phone with this client, the client's going to describe what they want. They're going to tell you where they live. The area, so you can connect with them. You're like, oh my God, you're over there near that Chick-fil-A, or boom, 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 that baseball field. Right. My son plays soccer over there, all that stuff. And so you build that connection. They tell you what they need done. Even as you're on the phone with them, they're going to go to your YouTube channel, grab 1 or 2 video links, send it to them, and say, hey, I just sent you a video link of a job similar to what you're describing. And they're like, oh my God, boom, boom. So you're not going out driving to every freaking job trying to beg them for work. You're going to be scheduling it then and there, and not even wasting time driving here, there, and everywhere. There's a system to the madness, because right now I'm on the line I'm on Facebook arguing with so many people about these automation systems, CRMs, customer relationship management software, and they're all somewhat okay. And they go, oh, Brian, you're just old, because I like seeing the calendar on the wall. I like to be able to glance up and know exactly what's going on all week, all month. But it's not so much because these guys are relying on these software programs to send them text messages here or there and do it all automation. And I've had contractors over these last 3 years spend thousands of dollars to buy into these programs only to end up losing jobs because they lose contact with the homeowner. And when they're selling you these features, they're saying, yeah, but you can't be on this and that. You need to follow up. And I'm like, dude, that's what systems are for. If you read the E-Myth, Michael Gerber's book that back in the 80s when I met him, changed everything about how we did business. Is like everything has a system and you follow those systems. Like that's why you hire the office manager, whether it's virtual assistant or someone in-house, is like they're following those systems and they're getting back in touch with them and they're doing it. You can send, we send both. We send text messages and emails, but every text message and every email that we send gets followed up with one of our office ladies calling, going, hey, just sent you a text message. Really want to make sure that you've seen it, because sometimes they'll get text messages throughout the day, never even see it. And it gets buried down at the bottom of the phone, or the emails get lost because whether it goes to spam or so many other emails, they just hit delete all of it. So we follow every one of them up and, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I just got that. I'm getting ready to take a look at it, or I didn't even notice it, but they appreciate that one-on-one connection and following up. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, I hope that makes sense, because there ain't no shortcuts to business. And when they buy these programs, they're hoping to make it easier. And I'm like, dude, you can make it easier. Pay somebody to fucking do it. Hire a good office manager, $20, $25 an hour. It's worth it. Virtual assistant, or just because they have someone you can hire just to answer the phone. And we've had that forever. I mean, back in the day, you had the beeper. Before the beeper, you didn't have shit. You had to wait till you got back to home to answer listen to the freaking recorder and hope they left a message and then call them up. Or you'd borrow the homeowner's phone. Hey, can I check my messages at the office? You'd wait for it. If you didn't have an office manager, you have to push in that code and listen to your recordings and write it down and then try to call them back. But now with the cell phones and everything, we should be able to get back to them almost instantly. You don't need a freaking computer or an AI or a robot to do it. You're going to lose that personal connection. And that's fine in some industries. It's big time. But in the service industries that we're in, meaning people are inviting us into their home, which is, there's nothing more personal than your home. My wife, I mean, she's like, don't have somebody come over here and give a bid. You know, she thinks everybody in construction are crackheads. She thinks they're all going to come over just to scope out the house. But I'm like, I said, what is wrong with you?
The first day I met him, he was in my house.
Yeah, they're gonna be going through the panty drawer. All this is crazy, man. And she's right about most of it, but to think a computer can take over and do what we need to do on a personal connection just ain't ever going to happen. Like an AI ain't never going to fucking take over our jobs. You're never going to get a computer to go in and paint what you guys paint, or fix the plumbing, or do the repairs on the roof. Any of that shit. We've got a job for life. I was talking to this kid, 20 years old, up in Staten Island, just turned 20 in November, but he's like, dude, I need a website. I got to get this. I'm like, damn, man, you're 20 years old. I was excited because my wife thinks nobody young wants to do construction anymore. But I told her, I said, man, I was excited to talk to him because he was that age and doing everything that he should be doing. And I told him, I said, man, I said, hopefully, not hopefully, I said, but I said, the way it's going, if people don't come into the trades, I mean, because construction is just a phenomenal way to make money, and you can make a lot of it. And then the better you get at these systems, the more profit you can get. I said, but if my wife is right and the younger generation doesn't want to do it, all that means is now instead of 1,000 people doing it, the homeowner had 1,000 people to choose from. Now they only have 10 people to choose from. You get the triple, quadruple, 10 times what you used to charge, because you're the only one that can fucking do it. So, you know, no matter which way it goes, if you position yourself right, you're in a good place to be. So that whole answering the phone and having all of that, because you're lucky enough to have Crystal,
for sure,
to where most guys aren't, you know, and you appreciate it. I love the relationship that you guys have. You remind me of me and Blanc. It's like, and people are like, oh my God, you guys got a relationship. How can we have that? I say, fight for 25 fucking years and go through all the fights. I said, if you can survive the battle, everything ends up being okay later on. I don't know.
Very true. But yeah, that personal aspect you were talking about, Brian, since we built my website and I did that video, it actually sold James when I first met him. But that video, I have heard on numerous occasions that welcoming video literally has sold my clients. I had a client that we made 12 grand on just this week. He's like, Ryan, that video sold me on you. And I was like, love it.
Because I tell people, it's like your website, and Ardell is on here watching this. He's got a welcome video already on his Instagram, kind of. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough, and we're going to use that unless he does a new one. I'm gonna try to get him to do a new one, but that one is just sitting on Instagram. No one's watching it, no one's seeing it, and it should be the first thing people see when they get to his website. But he's another guy that's paying a lot of money for marketing, and he's nowhere even on the radar when it comes to Google Maps. I got some people working on it right now, but is he could dominate. I was telling James earlier with those accent walls that he does, man, if he makes the videos explaining how he does it and his thought process and all of that stuff, he'll dominate. You guys you cannot give enough. Everybody's like, oh man, that's my secret. I said, dude, you ain't got no fucking secret. They're going to go to Google and they're going to look for it, and it's going to be there. And if you ain't the one sharing what you think is a secret, someone else is going to share it and they're going to be dominating your area. It's like, you can't give away enough fucking information. One of these guys that I kind of know but follow is Alex Menzoza. He says, like, especially for me, is like, I tell people, it's like, dude, I don't care if you hire me or not. I don't need the money. I don't need the work. I put everything on YouTube so that you don't need me. Go and learn it if you got the time, or send someone over there to learn it for. I've got people. I'm not a fan of it, but I've got some of these little wannabe internet marketers that just go through all of my shit, use everything that I teach, and then sell, and then hire get contractors and say, hey, I'll do all of this for you. And they're making money as long as they're doing it right and they're helping the contractor. I kind of don't care, but I've watched so many contractors get taken advantage of, business owners too. But from these guys who buy YouTube channel, they'll buy a fucking YouTube course, and now they think they're a marketer, and they're learning on someone else's dime. And we work way too freaking hard to be giving money away for nothing. It drives me crazy. But you can't give enough information away. You don't have no secrets, whether it's eggshell or gloss or everything that you think you know. The more you can share with people online makes you dominate your area. And Absolutely. What's great about construction is, like with me, the contractor's marketer, the dominate your trade, all of that shit is. I'm not trying to dominate the world for sure, but I would like a big chunk of the United States. So I got the United States to kind of worry about. But my construction businesses, and I've got a percentage of a couple of different businesses, but we only have to worry about that little 25, maybe 50-mile radius. So when you hone it into from the United States down to that's why you can dominate, because no one else is doing it. They're going to start doing it. 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. I'm starting to see a lot of guys start getting more video testimonials, and I compliment all of them. But when you're out of the gate first and ahead of them, it's just they're going to be always playing catch up. You can't give away enough information to these homeowners. And what happens too is, if you and I've thought about doing this in our trade of hardwood flooring. And I'm just fucking lazy, but I was going to do a video and go to Home Depot, rent all of the equipment, buy all of the supplies from Home Depot, bring it back, do one room with the professional equipment, do one room with the Home Depot equipment, show them everything, let them do it themselves. Because what happens is, watching that video, watching you guys talk about how you build an accent wall or what you have to do to prep to paint the way that you need to paint, when they see what really goes behind it, what you really have to do a real job, a good job, not some fly by night. When they see how it's really supposed to be done, they're like, fuck that. That's way too much. And then they realize it's undercharging. But honestly, man, if they seen anything, like they always talk about, people don't want to see how the sausage is made. They just want to make the sausage. But if they see how the sausage is made, what we really go through, what we've spent years learning to do what we do, they're like, no, hell no. Pay that guy. Don't even, No, don't even question the money because he's not charging what he should charge. And enough of us aren't doing it. I've been doing it forever, but and Ryan's starting to do it. Hopefully James will. And I really wanted Ardell. No one in the chiropractor field where he's at. I've got a couple of buddies around here that are doing it, but we're all in the same kind of circle, so they kind of know. But man, when you do those videos, and Ardell could freaking like. When it comes to hurt shoulders and bad backs and what you can do and all the exercises that you could do at home. It's like, hey, man, save your money. Don't come here and pay me. Do these things first at home. And if you're still in pain, then I'll know some stuff. Then you can come down here. And they're like, oh, my God, that's the best dude in the world. So that's that whole content theory. And Ryan, when we've been talking for a year, we only been working together a couple of months, but you were already doing that. And when I went to your dude, I said, what the fuck's all these videos? I found them on your Facebook and other places, and they're not on your website. What good are they? And you're like, I don't know, man. Well, it's like it's killing me. What's this dude here? Jay.
I knew what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
What's up, Jay?
And JB is like, I think you guys kind of connected, but he's over there, and I mean, he's somewhat close to you, but he's a good guy just for you guys to call and connect and bounce ideas off of. I mean, he's rolling right now.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. We've talked
I mean,
about.
Cheers to you guys.
Is he coming in and out, Ryan, to you too? A little bit.
Hey, Ryan, do you hear me pretty good, or is it just James?
I hear you pretty good. Every now and again, you're going in and out.
Cutting in and out, yeah.
Friggin' damn Spectrum.
Oh, they're the worst.
Just I'm gonna touch on the books a little bit, but SEO, man. I did a post in a couple of different groups saying, and I tell everyone, I got a video on YouTube. SEO services is one of the biggest waste of money a small business period can make, spending money on your SEO services on your website. Meaning these guys are going to promise you to get you ranked on the first page. It's going to take a year, 2 years, and they want $500, $1,500 a month to do SEO services. So SEO services, SEO just means search engine optimization. There's only one search engine, Google. Number 2 is YouTube. Yahoo don't do it. Bing don't do it. DuckDuckGo don't do it. It's Google. Like them or not, it's Google. Back in that COVID bullshit, my wife hated Google. I mean, she said some of the politics, but she was like, I ain't using them no more. And then like a month later, she's back on there because she couldn't find anything that she was looking for. It's like she's stuck. Right. But all it, I mean, it's honest. I mean, there is some the backlinks that we do and these citations and other stuff. There's some stuff behind the back scenes, but all it really is you go to Google, that there's a search bar, you type in something, the words that you use to type in to find something, that's the words that we want on your videos, descriptions, on your website, doing all of that. Google just wants to serve whoever is using their search engine. They'll kick you off. They'll be that you just now I am coming out is you just gotta, and again, that's why it goes back to that content. The more content that you have on your website, the more you're going to show up in Google. But I've got guys that are paying thousands of dollars to get a website ranked. And I'm like, dude, the website, I wouldn't want it ranked, because if someone finds it, it's going to do you a disservice. It doesn't have any of the shit that needs to be there. The videos that you're putting on the website, like that welcome video, I don't know, maybe it's probably less than 2 minutes, but then you're getting the video testimonials, and then you got those that content videos. So what happens is, so if someone searches Google, they go to Google, they search interior painter near me, you pop up somewhere somehow. They Google sends them to you, even in your ads. It doesn't matter. But if Google puts something in front of them, they click it, go to the website, it's a bunch of reading, and people's like, oh shit, I ain't got time for this, or this ain't what I'm looking for. And within 10 seconds, they already hit the back button and they're back on Google searching again. Google tracks all of that. Google's like, oh shit, that didn't make them happy. Maybe we shouldn't be showing that website. And even if you're paying for the ads, Google don't care about the money. Google only cares that that who's in their search engine is happy. That's all they care about. They don't care about the money. But when they click to a website like yours, they may watch a minute of the welcome video. They may watch 30 seconds of it. They stroll down a little bit. They see a welcome, a video testimonial that's maybe a minute and a half. They may watch 30 seconds of that. They may watch all of it. They go down a little bit lower. They see all that content video of you painting different stuff, explaining things in the kitchens. You've got 4 or 5 videos there. And if you have 3 or 4 video testimonials, they may watch all of them. They may watch 15 to 30 seconds of each of them. Then they go down and they watch some of those content videos that you got. But before they realize it, they've been on your page 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes,
right?
All watching these. And Google's going, oh shit.
He's coming in and out, right?
Everybody's ass with this damn internet. And yeah, I even see myself. But they've spent that much time there. So Google thinks, damn, I got to show this guy to more people. So what they end up doing is they lower the price that they charge you for the ads. They show your ads more often. Your Google My Business stays up in the top 3, all of it, because the video people, and I tell people, it's like your website is your showroom. Even if you have a fancy ass showroom, people are going to find you on the internet first before they get in their car and drive down the street. So you've got to have that relationship. You've got to build that connection before they even, and if they walk into your showroom, you're not going to throw 1,000 pages at them and say, hey, read this, learn about us. It's like, you're going to say, hey, man, I'm glad you're here. You found us. Come on in. Let me show you around, blah, 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 all of that. And you put your arm around them, make friends with them. And that's what the website does. That's what those welcome videos and all of that. And I've got video after video explaining that. But that's the whole purpose of the whole, not to pay SEO for these guys. Hey, before I get out of here, what do we at? I don't know. Like, let me finish this. Ryan, what are you drinking, Ryan? A Miller Lite?
Yeah, Miller Lite. I just wrapped it up.
So, you wrapped it up.
Yeah, I gotta go get another one.
And I really want to get Ardell eventually to write a booklet. So I just did a post, and I don't know when we're going to do it, but I'm going to put together a program, 8-week program, to where I help these guys write a book. And the reason I thought that was because this dude that I helped, Anthony from Sunshine Design and Build in Boise, he was just like 3-4, I saw him 4 years ago now, but man, he was installing windows, working by himself, and ready to quit. And he was paying for like radio advertisement, a whole bunch of shit. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? But now he's like he's dominating Boise. He's got locations in Oregon, locations in Washington, getting ready to open locations in Nevada, and one in California. But we worked together last year, and he did his book. And we haven't talked in probably, I don't know, 2 months because of all the holiday shit. But he sent me a message the other day going, hey, man, I just don't think you enough. I don't think you enough. I joined the Chamber of Commerce. I was there talking with people, and it felt so good to hand my book out and have everybody look at me like, what the hell? It's like, and he goes, and that's all because of you. And I'm like, dude, you fucking wrote it, not me. I helped you put it all together. But I was like, man, I said, and I tell everybody to write a book because it makes you the authority. And then another guy asked me, and I was like, and I thought, man, it's like one of the first books that I did really wasn't even a book. And I'll kind of go over it after I share Anthony's book, but because this ended up being Anthony's book, 9 Remodeling Secrets, the book contractors hope you never read. I mean, and it's just cool. I mean, it's just a cool book because you don't need it to be big. A 500-page, 700-page book, people aren't going to read anyway. You just need something that every page captures their eye. When I started writing books, one of my favorite books, because I didn't read, I quit school in 9th grade. I ain't got no freaking education. I kind of had to teach myself to read. One of the first books I read was Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. It's All Small Stuff. It was like every page was just like one quote or one sentence, and I could read that. But if I picked up a real book, I was like, oh, not a chance. I ain't not a chance. But when I fell in love with Jeffrey, and he's got a lot of these, but this one is called The Little Red Book of Selling. And I loved it because of the way it is. It's like, if you see it, it's all like the big paragraph grabs your attention. So you can read these 3 lines almost instantly. You read those without even knowing it. That makes you read the next little thing. And then he has all these little cool little pictures and other stuff. And I was like, man, so way back when I said, man, if I ever write a book, it's going to be like that. I want someone, because a book doesn't do anybody any good unless they read it and then take action on what's in it. So when I did for Contractors Only, that's hey, James, email me later, so I'll email you the ebook of this. But it was the same thing. It's like I wanted people to just, because if contractors grab it and don't read it, it ain't going to help them. So I wanted it to be real easy, like Jeffrey's book. And this is like, I don't know, the 5th or 6th book that I've done. But you don't even need that. You just need, you take 6 or 7 computers, 6 or 7 pieces of paper, computer paper, printer paper, and fold them in half. And that's your booklet. And I've got a lot of these that I've helped guys do. I mean, it's just, they're real easy to hand out. The hard part, because you can have these printed for like 99 cents. And it would be whatever it is that you do. And normally, I love, like Anthony did, the 9 secrets. It's like 9 questions you should ask every painting contractor for inviting them to your house, or whatever it is. You come up with something, because you get the same questions over and over again. You know what they are. You just put them in some kind of book form. You do the big font, the little font, you put a picture, you just make it fun to look at and easy to read. This is years ago, called They're Not Laughing Because You're Not Funny, But You Can Be, 16.5 Ways to Add Humor. And some of it is all black and white, but it's they're easy to give out. People say, hey, you got a business card? And I'm like, man, nothing. And I'll say, let me get because we did this in like 98, 99 was the last business card I ever had was my company called Endless Possibilities, Enhancing the Lives of Others. And the only reason I did the fucking business card is because I love the logo so much. I wanted people to see it. But it was like, if you ever meet anyone anywhere that you can do business with, it's more important that you get their information than it is you give them your information. Over time, I would have a stack every year. I'd have a stack of business cards like this with a thick rubber band holding them together. And you look at them going, man, how much longer am I going to hold these before I throw them away? And that's what everybody does. Before that, it was the Rolodex. You need their information, whatever. And then people would give out, pins with their name on it, because you want to give something away that people, will keep a little bit longer. Like right now, January, all these distributors and companies, they want to give you the calendar so that they hope you keep it for a year because it's got their name and information on it. So I was like, man, I need to give somebody something that they're going to keep. So it ended up being the book, way back, for our flooring. It was like the 9 secrets to refinishing hardwood floors, tips and tricks from the nation's favorite hardwood floor expert. So if they read that, it's got to be true. And now all the other floor guys talk shit to me. I'm like, bitch, I got the book. But it's just something that we give out. And now it's like one of the first things that they can download and click a link on our website and go and read. But it makes me the authority. Like Anthony's book makes him the authority. Everybody should have one. But like way before, it's like I've got a video on YouTube called $1 Million Content. It's everything that we used to do before the internet, which you should still be doing, which started with these presentation folders. A buddy of mine from Queens, New York, printed these up. This one, man, because he mixed up ink, so he had these printed up for me. But anyway, somewhere on the video is everything that we put in it. I'm not going to go through it, but because it was like I showed up at a lady's house and I give her this 1-sheet proposal, just like everybody else does. And back then, for you younger kids, we used to have these carbon copies. It would be 3 sheets, and you put something hard in between each. And so when you wrote on it, it would go through to the next sheet, and you'd tear it off, and you'd keep one, and you'd give the homeowner one. You guys remember those?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm not that,
and so go ahead.
I said I'm not that old. I swear.
But so I had to give her this proposal, and she gave it. She took it and she set it on the counter on top of another guy's proposal. So when I'm driving back to the office, I'm thinking that bitch, she's going to put 2 or 3 other proposals on top of mine. I was like, damn, I need something to to stand out or something, whatever. And so we did these and then it's like, but then it looked stupid because I had this big ass thick, vinyl folder thing with one sheet of paper in there. I said that, it did. It just looked dumb. But then you think, because here in California, you have to have a contractor's license. And it doesn't mean shit. No, it hangs on the wall in a fucking frame. That ain't no good. So we made copies of that. Then we made copies of like all the recommendations that people had, because back then, before the video testimonials, I would have, if you owned a business or you had your own letterhead as a company, I would have you write up a letter of recommendation for us on your letterhead. If not, just write it on anything. So we'd make copies of those, put those in here. And then I wanted more of those. And I said I wasn't going to go through all that shit. But we ended up with, we would hand out what we called the work completion client satisfaction questionnaire. So it was like, the workers of appearance, outstanding, great, good, fair, terrible. They could check that. Was the work fully completed? They could check that. A whole bunch of shit. And then it was any suggestions, and underneath any suggestions is where they would normally write their recommendation and tell us how great we were. So then we started we gave those out at every job. So every job we were getting one of those. So then we would just stack it. So then that was kind of like my first, I told this dude the other day, I said, that was kind of like my first book, really. I would give it out, and it's kind of like a book, not really, but it wasn't. But then it's like, if I was going to Dr. Ardell's house, he's a chiropractor, I would fill it up with like 8 other recommendations from other chiropractors or other doctors. So as he's looking through it, he would see that it was a doctor or a chiropractor. So he wouldn't have a connection with me, but he would instantly have a connection with the person that wrote that recommendation because he's a chiropractor or he's a doctor also. If I was going to give an estimate for a firefighter or a police officer, I would put in the ones from other police officers or firefighters, or I'd stack it in with whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because everything has always been about building that relationship and making that connection. That's why they pay freaking celebrities and sports figures big money to endorse a product, because you may not have a relationship with Jack and Coke, but if you have a relationship with like one of your favorite sports figures, you think you know him, you feel like you know him, you love him, whatever. And if he's drinking Jack and Coke, it must be good. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you. NASCAR used to be, if you had NASCAR on the suit or on your car, if whatever that product was, those fans supported that product. It used to be one of the number one, like, I don't know what it is now because they've ran into some political bullshit. But that's what it was. So I don't know. We're putting that program together. I don't know. It's a lot of it's real time consuming for me, but it's important for you guys as a contractor. I'm telling you, man, when you give out something like this versus a business card, you go from a 2 to a 10 instantly. Last thing I wanted to share was freeprints.com. And I think I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. It's on an app on my phone, but is so especially like even with James, anyone really, I mean, versus like plumber or something. But if you're doing work on someone's house, and it makes an instant difference, and painting does, wall accent does. We always used to send these thank you cards like a couple of weeks later. It was like I wrote this corny ass poem, but then we would mail it out, but it would have a before and after picture, because I knew they would put that on the fucking magnet on the refrigerator, because everybody would come over and go, "Oh my God, the cabinets look great." They're like, "Oh shit, here's what they used to look like," and they pull that off the refrigerator, so it was there forever. Freeprints.com, man, you can take 3 pictures, 6 pictures, 30 pictures. I think they give you like, I don't know, 9 or I don't know. They give you about 9 to 15 pictures for free. And then you pay for the shipping and handling. Or you can do more pictures and then you can do the cover and you can do a gloss. But for well under $20, for like $10, you can have a nice book of all the pictures, like the before pictures, the during pictures, but maybe pictures of the dog walking by, all of that shit you can give to the homeowner afterwards, and you get to design the back cover with all of your information. They're never getting rid of that fucking thing. They're going to keep it forever. And it's something that they get like a month or 2 months later, well after the fact, that they're not even thinking of you anymore. Probably in the mail, they get an envelope that you send them. They open it up like, oh my God, Ryan's the best dude in the fucking world, man. Look at this. They're flipping through this little picture book that you put together. But free prints is because we use it. I use it a lot just on my little vacation excursions. I'll take a shitload of pictures and then I'll just have, a book and I'll either keep it for myself or give it away. Last Christmas, I did one for my sisters. We all went up to my cabin in Big Bear, spent a couple of days up there, took a shitload of pictures, and we were up there, I don't know, but within 3 days, Free Prints already had the book all put together. And I should have brought it over here. I flipped through it, but I was able to give it to my sisters at Christmas. And they're like, "How the hell did you get this? Where's this thing with it?" And they loved it. But so that's another tip you guys should be using. Anything before we get out of here?
He started with car.
You ain't even had a baby. It's like you had them left over or something. I have to go back through this video and hopefully I can edit out all the ups and downs, highs and lows. Hey, James, this is all new to you, brother. Any questions before we get out of here? And I'm going to call you probably tomorrow after I golf. Friday is my golf day.
That's fine. I don't really have any I don't have any questions. I just want to say I'm extremely grateful to be on this platform, and you are extremely educated, and the knowledge that you're providing is just beyond helpful, and it's really touching a lot of lives. And I just want to thank Ryan as well. You know what I mean? Again, like I met Ryan in Google. I searched cabinet painting and Ryan's company came right up, and then I just came in, gave him a call, brought him to my house, showed him some projects I was working on, built a strong connection with him, and it's been up since there. You know what I mean? So I'm just extremely grateful to be on this platform, and I'm looking to expand my business and just create opportunities for other people as well, and just to learn and provide for their families. So thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, because Ryan's a good guy, and I don't know, man. Most of you guys, a lot of guys meet me on Facebook, and I'm a dick. I have no problems being a dick.
Yeah,
I don't have any room in my life for any more people. But these last 3 years of me doing this, it's been 4 years now, since I started this whole freaking. My wife says I'm nuts. I'm like, man, it's like, because everything I have, man, fucking construction gave it to me. Like I said, the dude told me, go back to school or learn a trade so you can support yourself. Yeah. And it's that was some of the best advice I ever got. And I will always be grateful. And so many of us in construction are like me, no education, and we never get past being an employee to ourselves. Even we think we're self-employed, and that's the problem. We're fucking self-employed, and we don't live the life that we could. And it's amazing how many guys argue with me about it. It's as a matter of fact, the title of this book is For Contractors Only. You mastered your trade, now master your business. It started out, the title of that book was No More Free Estimates. And I got such blowback from other contractors thinking I'm putting them out of business. Are you kidding me? You got to get free estimates. I'm like, dude, wait, slow down, man. It's like, fuck. It's like,
book.
Yeah, man. It's like you guys. I said, dude, I'm living proof. If you build the business the way it should be built, you get to pick and choose who you want to fucking work for, and you ain't got to be driving. Because man, I'd be sitting at dinner at 6:30 eating spaghetti with the wife, my phone would buzz and I'd look at it and it'd be some homeowner going, they got a job. I'd fucking get in the car and drive over there at 7:00 at night. My wife was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, we need to work. We need this. And I'm working 80 hours. It's like, man, and too many of us never get past that. And I'm like, dude, there's a different way if you want it. If you don't want it, I don't, that ain't for me. I'm not going to waste my time. But man, over these last 3 or 4 years, I've met some phenomenal guys. Charlie in Texas, JB. I mean, Nelson and Ryan and Jay. I mean, I could go on and on with the guys that I've met. Some of them I met, face to face, and we hang out because I drive past their fucking house all the way across the country. Some of them we just met on Zoom. I met this dude, Charlie in Texas. I mean, dude brought me into his house and I stayed and they took me to dinner. I'm sleeping in his house and we never met except for on the fucking internet as a good, but all of it because construction dudes are some of the best guys you're going to meet, period. Hey, Ryan, weren't you posting pictures of you and the wife hunting?
When are we?
No, didn't you guys like a couple of months ago?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
I was like,
need to put that online.
I'm telling you, man, because I seen that and I was like, son of a bitch, I'd love to hang out with Ryan and go hunting. Like,
right.
Because you don't have none of that shit here in California. It's very rare. And I grew up in North Carolina, but it's a great industry to be in. And we get taken for granted. And I know mentally I beat myself up about it for over 25 years because I thought I was in construction because I was so dumb I couldn't do anything else. And that kind of because I didn't have any education. And it took me a good 25 years before I realized what I really had. And I don't want other contractors to go through that. We underbid ourselves. I'm telling you, man, you do like one of these accent walls that you build, they enjoy that for the next 50 years,
for the rest
maybe
of the time that they're
years.
living there.
Yeah,
check out, we put a skeleton. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. We put a fucking skeleton in. Look. We put a skeleton in the wall. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Mm-hmm. Let me get the picture. So pretty much when the person, whenever they sold the house, if they sold it, they're gonna see a skeleton with a note in there. Let me see if you guys can see this. You see that?
I can now.
That's like if he's smoking a joint or whatever, and we put that behind the framing. So if they ever were to rip the fireplace down, they'll see that. They'll read the note. They'll see our tags, like our Instagrams, our web. You know what I mean? They'll see that, but it's true, man.
It is because I was doing we were doing some work in a house in Beverly Hills, like the real part of Beverly Hills, and yanking out some flooring and doing repairs, and they had shimmed up the floor with newspaper from like 1909. And the rest of the day, wow. I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit the rest of the day except read the newspaper from 1909. But it's like I'm telling you, we underbid ourselves. Yeah, like the value of the house goes up once we've done any amount of work. If they give us 10 grand, the value of the house has probably went up 30 to 40 grand. Exactly. But even if they don't sell it, they're going to enjoy it long after it. And we're like, but they'll bitch and moan about, like some things that they'll buy. It's just where they see the value of it. It's and these videos and websites that I'm trying to get through to these guys, and the book, all of that shit makes you the Ferrari, not the fucking Volkswagen. I hope that makes sense.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Man, I drive a Volkswagen. No, I'm just playing.
I tell people all the time, I say, man, when I'm sitting at home and I get depressed, I walk outside and look at my big ass 250 Ford and I think, yeah, fuck it. just looking at that thing makes me a little bit happier.
Yeah, I'm still pushing my 04 Dodge Ram. It's my money maker, man. It makes me money. So
it is, man. I'm telling you. All right, man. Hey, no matter when you're watching this video, you got questions, you want to reach out to me, go ahead. If you like the video, you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button with your friends. We're just, I haven't done it yet. 2 years ago, I bought the domain name, clientfirstcontractor.com, because I believe that eventually I want to build a group of individuals, contractors that really, because if you put the homeowner's needs first and work backwards, you end up with a lot less problems. Every problem I've ever had, 90%, 99% of the time that I've had problems with homeowners, it's usually been me miscommunicating stuff with them. But anytime that I went in there, shit, like if me and Ryan went to high school together, lost touch, went in there. He found me. He's like, dude, come over here and do some work. I'm going to go in there. And I'm going to say, hey, man, here's everything. Because I know I don't want any fucking problems. I don't want no miscommunications. Whatever he wants, I'm going to kind of bend over backwards to make sure it happens. He's going to bring up shit, and I'm going to go, dude, yeah, you think you want that, but here's the truth. Here's what's really going to happen. Are you sure you really want it? And too many times we don't. We let the homeowner tell us what they want, even if it's not good for them. And then we end up with fucking problems. Or we'll say something. It usually comes through miscommunication. But if you treat, if you start with that client first mentality and work backwards, you end up with a lot less problems and a much bigger group of people trying to promote you. And because one of the first things that I did was called what was it? It was a customer or client. How did you treat your last sale? It was a 3-hour presentation all about get your last client to be your best salesperson for life. So that every time you finish the job, that person should want to go to work for you, try to sell you.
Yes.
And that little shit, like I just told you, the freeprints.com or the thank you card a couple of weeks later with the before and after picture, that kind of shit. But now you get those video testimonials. One video testimonial is probably worth 100 Google reviews. As many Google, kind of starting to think. And Ryan's got a video where he's talking with the homeowner, and it's just when you talk to homeowners, it's just it's real, and there's no way to fake it. So they just people they just gravitate to that. So it just makes you that much higher on the level of all the other contractors in your area. It ain't rocket science.
No, it's actually so freaking simple. It's I look back on something like, oh my God, how did I not know that?
You should have been doing it. Hey, that's my saying about my company. What saying was you talking about, JB? I wonder what it was. But all right, like I said, you watch the video later on, no matter what it is, reach out to me. I'll answer all the questions. This is kind of my busy time of year because people slow down and now they don't have any work. Guys, Monday asking if I get them some work on Wednesday, and I'm like, dude, it ain't how it works, man. You got to plant some seeds this month to get some work next month. It's crazy, and I feel bad for them. But guys, I appreciate you being here tonight. A lot of fun. What is it now? 3:52, 6:50 for you guys. We'll do it again next week. Hey, James, reach out to me and we'll get you busy, brother. Everybody else, stay safe. God bless you.
Thank you, my friend.